Hey everyone, I am live on my business page because for some reason I don't have my little status update coming up on my group page, Social Media Marketing Made Simple. So if you're in there today and you saw the post where I was going to talk about these profile picture frames in a live feed, and then of course share it on my blog for my quick tips that I do every week. I'm over here. So hopefully you got the memo that I had to move over here because it was not letting me screen share. So I did a Facebook Live from my phone to show that earlier. So now we're here. So sometimes technology doesn't quite work the way we want it to, but I did want to show you this because it's a really cool, kind of new to 2017 feature that Facebook allows us to do, and it's free. So this is another way to kind of build brand awareness. So what you're looking at right now is what we call a profile picture frame. And I saw them before. I never paid too much attention to them. And then a local business here looked at that. And actually, I'm going to pull up I'm going to pause here for a minute and pull up my my live feed here because I forgot when I'm looking at this, I can't see who is all on and if anyone's asking questions. So before I ask you any questions and ask for feedback, I need to be able to see that. So I'm going to pull that up here in a minute, and so I can take a look at that and see who is talking to me. I'm a little probably off a little bit because I was planning on going live in my group. So hopefully, let's see if I can see the live feed here and I can see any comments. Yep, there it is. So I can see who's on and that kind of stuff. So awesome, great. So now that's set up. I got my 10 devices here. I'm good. So I had a local business do this, and they shared it, and a lot of people used it. And I thought, oh, this is really great. And so I hadn't had much experience with it. I'd seen them, but I needed to do some research before I was able to bring that to you all. So what I'm going to show you is where this is located, how to create one, and then how to make it go live. So if you look up here, I think you can see I have my whole screen I'm sharing. So you can see right here that if you go to facebook.com/profile-pic-frames, it'll take you to this right here. And so your profile picture will pop up, and then you can actually search right here for ones that are already, and these just have popped up. I didn't search for any of these, but these have popped up, things that I might be interested in, that different 2 colleges are on there and some other stuff. I'm not sure what that is. And of course, Halloween is the one I showed because today is Halloween. So you can choose that, and then if you scroll down here, you can actually decide how long you want it to be up there. And I think there's like several options. You can have it come down never, or you can have it come down in an hour. So what it'll do is it'll switch back to just your regular profile picture after that. So depending, you can set that. And then, so that's where you would find them once you create one. So a question I keep getting is, how do I create it? And so Facebook, I'm going to flip over here to camera effects. And so Facebook has this page, and so you can see right here, and I don't think you have to put home in, but you might have to, facebook.com/FB camera effects, and that's where you actually create a frame. And so when you first look at this and scroll down, you think, okay, she's talking about Facebook Live frame, or excuse me, Facebook Stories frames, but actually this is for stories and for profiles. So the first step is to create a frame. There we go. There's a little bit of lag time there, but I want to make sure I can see any comments. So this just shows you how the frame would look like in a Facebook Live or a Facebook story. And so if you hit get started, it'll take you to the next page, which, let me hide this. I'm going to leave that up there. Which first thing it prompts you to is to upload your art. So you can't create it within Facebook, which I'm kind of surprised, but you have to upload your art. And so that's what I'll talk about next. But I wanted to just point out the formats here. So you can do a portrait, landscape, or profile. So we're going to do profile, which we'll have that possibility in next to see that. So once you get here, you're like, okay, I have to create some sort of artwork. So of course I go to my handy dandy Canva. which hopefully all this have a set up that'll all pop up here for me. And I've already created one because I went through it, made sure it worked and all of that a week or two ago. And so this is just canva.com. So if you're not familiar, check it out. It's a free service. You may need the Canva at work to get this to work for you perfectly because it allows you to save things as transparent. And so when Canva comes up, it allows you to pick what size you want for things. And so this is just I think the Instagram post, which is the square post. I thought, well, that's probably closest to the profile pictures you can get. And you'll see when I upload it, I do have to manipulate it a little bit. So, but this is pretty close. There are rules to what you can put on here. And I actually read those after I created mine, which is, you know, typically how some of us work, and me included. And it said no logos. So I guess like logos wouldn't be approved, but mine was approved. So I'm guessing the little left-hand corner thing that I would consider a logo for my academy is not necessarily a logo in their eyes, or it probably would have not been approved. So I put that on there. So just be careful if you're going to use logos, because that's one of the rules. Then you could read the rule, just Google those, or I can link them as a comment later and you can check those out. Other things, nothing too big. I mean, just they don't want you to, you know, false advertise and things like that. So then I put in member there and I put the screen around it, and, you know, nothing too fancy. So you can create whatever you want. One of the things I did read was you don't want anything that's going to manipulate the photo too much. So you can't have anything in the middle, you know, that would block the actual profile picture. So play around with it that way. So then when you do, I've already downloaded it, but when you do go to do that, if you hit download, I went ahead and hit transparent background here, but I have Canva for work, so I have that possibility. If you do not, which is a paid thing, you may not be able to, so you might want to try that out there, but you never know. PNG is perfect. So I went ahead and already downloaded, as you can see down here. And so when you're done creating what you want to do, you go back to Camera Effects and you hit Upload Art. We'll go ahead and upload that. And so you can see it's a little small, so I just, you know, had to make it a little bit bigger. Didn't need to drag it there, but I'm going to play around with it, make it the right size here. So you can see what it's going to look like on each one. So once you're done with that, and you can actually preview it here as well. And then you can always save it too, which is, I really like that, because if you get in the middle of something, you can always come back to it. So next you want to name it. So like one of the things, you know, is choosing a name. Well, if you remember over here was that you could search. So if you do have an easy name, you can have them just search it up there. So I always say keep it, you know, pretty simple. You know, let's call it the Academy. And then you can choose to either make it active right away, or you can set a start and end date. So if it's an event or something like that, you can do that. What else I thought was pretty neat, which might be the next. Oh, we have to select an owner too. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it under myself. You can put it under your business page if you'd like, but I'm just going to put it under myself for today. Oh, set a location. There we go. So you can have it so it pops up everywhere. Like My Academy, anyone can be in it, you know, all over the world. If it is an event and you just want it to be for the event, or, you know, a certain town, you can set that. Like I mentioned, you can have it active right away and keep active all the time, or you can have a start and end date. So I went ahead, when I pushed it through the first time, I ended it just so then there wouldn't be two out there, but you can do either one of those. And then you can use keywords. And so again, this goes back to the search where people are looking, you know, for stuff. You know, you want to make sure your keyword is good there. Also, you want to just take a look at the terms and policies, because just like stuff with Facebook, you can't use certain words. So when you have all that set up, which I'm just going to leave it there, you hit next. So you can see it kind of confirms with you what's going on, and then you would be able to publish it. You won't be able to change it once you publish it, and that's why when I saw it the first time, I went back and had it set for like a day later to go off, because I thought, well, if it's not exactly what I want, I don't want it to be out there. So if there's any any worry about that, because I will tell you, once I publish this, the member, where it says member, I'm going to go back over here real quick, this had some white in it, and so I don't know if the transparency just didn't go through there, or it was the font I used, something like that. So that was something I might want to change later. So I'm not going to publish this, but that's how you do it. Then once it's published, you get a notification, and then it shows up here. So then you can actually ask, as your call to action, ask your fans to use it. So it's easy to share. I have had clients do it. It works really well. It's just really great brand awareness. So it's easy. It's free. It's right there. It does take a desktop, and you can see I have about 3 tabs open to complete it in one step. So hopefully this was informative, that you can go out and use it. Please share your profile frames with me if you do one. I would love to see them, and I will post this on the blog for everyone later.